Okay, keep your lines light. First thing we're going to do is draw the letter U towards the top of our page. Up here. Fairly large letter U. It's upside down U, of course, but it's still a letter U. Or if you put it this way, it's a letter C. I don't care how you accomplish it, but that's what we're trying to get drawn on there. I'm going to bring that in just a little bit so it's easier to see it. But notice it's not teeny tiny. I mean, like if my eraser's there in pencil, it's pretty good size. Now underneath that, I'm going to draw something that's similar to a heart shape. I'll make sure this side's just as long as that side. I don't want it touching those, so I'm going to come right here. I'm going to go really, really, really light. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, really light. Then I'm going to bring it around like a heart shape. Turn my paper so it's easier to curve around this way. Like a heart shape. But at the bottom I'm not going to put a point, I'm just going to round it off. Just like that. And it's not touching here, and it's not touching here. Not yet. I'm trying to make them both look about the same on the edges. Keep your lines light, because we will be doing some erasing. Now, if I get too far ahead, make sure that you raise your hand and let me know, okay? So I don't get way, way ahead of you. All right, I need to join this with this. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to come right off the side and bring it right into the side of my head that I've already drawn, that upper part. Okay, so it's just a nice transition, blends right in, right into the side of the head. And then I will erase out anything extra, like the little tag end that's left over. I'll get rid of it. I'm going to darken this upper part just a little bit so it's easier for you to see. I won't go too dark in case I make some changes. And now you can see that a little bit easier. Okay, right here in the middle of our little heart shape, I'm just going to erase that center part out, make it go away. Okay, that's why we keep our lines light, because we do make some changes. Now, just like the shape we did for the top of the head, we're going to come in here and put an upside down U right in here too. So I'll do one side, I'll do the other side, just like that, so they're leaning out from each other. And then I'll just put a little curve right on top to connect it. Okay. Now with this U, it kind of comes out a little bit at the bottom, like I'm pushing it out slightly. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. But you notice it takes up the full third of the middle. So like 1, 2, 3. So this is a third, a third, a third. Okay, so if you got it smaller than a third, make it a little bigger. If it's going clear out to here and it's taking up half your middle, way too big. Make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to bring that down just a little bit more, not much. I just want it below this line here. Okay. I'm going to alter this line a little bit. Well, maybe I'll just leave it for right now. I'm going to come right here and connect from here to here and start my beak on this thing. So I'm going to do it with a little curved line that goes just like this. A little curved line that goes just like this, And I'm leaving space between here and here, here and here, and I got a little tag end going down below it on each side. So I'll hold that up close so you can see what I'm talking about. So little tag in, space, space. Now, if it helps you, this next part, if it helps you, if you don't need it, you don't need to draw it. You can put a light line down the middle right here, only if it helps you. That's just a guideline. I don't really want it very dark because I'm going to erase it. I don't really need it, but I know for some of you it helps you if you have a line right there. Because from that, we're going to make a V shape that's going to be almost as wide as this. So we're going to come out this way and this way, just like that. Make it the same on both sides. Leave a big space in between. We're working on the top beak right now. I'm going to come down here a little bit lower and come right up to where I drew that. Make sure I do this right. Put a light line there from right there where I came from. I know where I want it. I'm going to darken it. I'm going to come over here and do the same thing. Light line to start with. Now we got a really interesting shape on our paper. Does anybody need more time to get that far? Raise your hand if you do, so I don't leave you in the dust here. If you raise your hand, I don't mind waiting for a second, but if you don't let me know, I can't read your mind. I'm back here. So. All right, didn't see any hands, so I'm going to come back from this corner, follow around, come down below that shape, come from this corner, follow around, come below that shape, and just kind of make a light line and connect that up. Don't draw this very dark because we're going to erase part of this, okay? Keep it light. Now all that is the opening underneath the mouth. This is the top beak. This is the upper lip of the bottom beak, and then we're going to put the bottom of the beak on here. And to do that, we're going to come right back where we started and come underneath it. Let it get a little wider down here at the bottom. Keep this really light too. Keep it really, really light because we're going to erase part of it. Come in here and turn it upside down just to make it easier to draw. Do not draw this dark because we are going to erase part of that. Okay, so it's a weird looking lower lip, but it's actually a lower beak. Hopefully you can see that just fine. Does that help? Maybe a little. Okay, we're going to make a little adjustment up here before I finish the mouth. So this kind of comes up and it comes close. I want to bring this up like this, a little higher, and then follow the same curve as this curve right here. So I'm going to follow that same curve on here and bring it up a little higher and just bring it out to the edge of my cheek right there. I'm trying to create a little bit more space between here and the edge, and that happens when I bring it out there like that. So then I'll come in there and erase this, and you'll see why I wanted to create a little more space here in just a second. And this is why I wanted to create a little more space. I'm going to put that little parenthesis, that little curved line right there, that little curved line right there, so we have real good expression, like he's smiling. Okay. I'm going to put a neck on this, and because I am going to do that, I'm going to raise it up a little bit so you can see where this neck's going to go right here. I'm going to come basically the width of the bottom part of that beak right there, so I'm just going to come down right here. Keep a light line, kind of curve it over here to the left, and on this side I'm going to keep it skinny, 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 and then I'll curve it over a little bit towards the right as I get down further. Okay. I'm going to leave myself a little room down below. You guys just a second to get that on there. So when you bring it down, you kind of have it looks like that. Don't make this super wide. I mean, it's not like a tree trunk coming out of the bottom of his head. Okay? Just enough to hold his head up, and it gets a little wider at the base where it joins the body. No, you're fine. You just make it longer. Okay, right down here at the bottom, I'm going to bring a little line that curves back up like that. So just do a little line like that. And then I'm going to turn my picture upside down. So after you get that little thing on there turned upside down, this will just make this next part easier to draw. Is everybody ready? All right, we're moving on. Okay, we're going to come right up here. We're going to make a little zig back, and then a little further out, then a big one, then a little curved one that comes up here, and then a little point just like the other side. Okay, and this part is further up than this and this. It's going up here a little ways, so that when I turn it right side back up, that's the bottom of her neck. It's just easier if it's this way when you draw it, because your hand, especially if you're right-handed, goes that way. If you're left-handed, you just go like this, okay? Well, if you're left-handed, you're just going to go put a little V shape, and then this way, a little hump, and back. Can't see what? Oh, that. Sorry. Here, I'll bring it all the way, zoomed it in. How's that? Okay, boys, don't. I'll just make this a little smaller right here, just like that. Okay, just erase your old lines, and you'll be good. All right, switching it back up, moving it back away a little bit. Now we're going to stick a tongue on this guy, because he is kind of a feisty little turkey, and he's kind of rebelling. So I'm going to start from this side, come right from the top of the beak, come down below the chin, curve it back up, and come back off that side. See how it curves that way? After I have that drawn on there, I will erase out everything inside the tongue, because it is overlapping everything. This will make fairly dark, because I'm not really going to change it once I have this thing drawn. Turn it around, because it's easier for me to draw the curve this way. All right, got a big old tongue sticking out there. And then right down the middle of the tongue, just going to put a little line and stop it before it hits the bottom. I'm not going to darken any other lines until I get my eyes, eyebrows on there. Then we'll come back in and darken all our lines before we do anything else to it. All right, now the part that seems to throw everybody off, but we're going to hope for the best. I'm going to put a little curved line coming right off the side of the beak and curving up this way. Now I'll bring a little curved line coming off the side of the beak and curving off that way. See what I've done there? They kind of go opposite of each other. Now I'll come over near this side of the head and put another curved line that's the same curve as this one going the other way. Same curve as this one going the other way, just like that. Then I'm just going to connect them up. And what I've drawn is an oval. Connect it up at the bottom, connect it up at the top, and we have two pretty good ovals there. Okay? Just trying to show you an easier way to draw them is all. Some of you can just go like that and draw an oval. Some of you need a little bit more of a technique to do it. Then inside that oval, we're going to put two little ovals. One right here, like that. And one over here. Draw it lightly first so you know that it's the size that you want. So you get them both about the same size. Kind of the shape of those little jelly beans that you can get that sometimes taste really nasty. I'm going to put a little circle right here on the right side and a little circle right here on the right side of that one. Instead of drawing feathers on this guy, I'm going to put just a few little hairs. I lift it up as I do this. If you've ever seen turkeys up close, they have little micro feathers. They look more like hairs. They're goofy looking. We're just going to put a few up there. I'll hold that up close so you can see what I'm talking about. Don't need a ton of them. Maybe another one or two down here. Goofy looking bird. And then his eyebrows, I'm actually going to bring clear above his head because it's a cartoon and we can. Just kind of the shape of like a little moon, a little crescent moon right above his head. Zoom that in so you can see what we're doing. Okay, now it's time to darken lines in. We know right here, I know that my oval's where I want it for the eyes, so I'm going to just darken in around, going around it. Go around this one, darken this one in, following my line carefully. Go around top of the beak. Okay, I'm going to go around the top of the head a lot darker, just making a nice dark line over my old line. Anywhere that I already know that I'm not erasing anything. We're not going to erase anything else, by the way. So we're just going over our lines. Come right on around here. Gives it a lot better finished look. I'll come around the bottom part of the beak. here. Okay, now that's much darker, much easier to see. Come over here and do the neck. I think I got all my lines. I think we got everything dark on there now. And there's just a few places that we're going to make black, and it'll be done. I think I need to just fix this line right here, make it dark. All right, inside the mouth. Come in here, go around the outer edge, below the beak and above the beak, and around the edge of the tongue. Color that in black. Right, now you can clearly see that's the inside of the mouth. And then the same thing with the eyes. We're going to go around that little part that's the highlight. We don't want to color in that. Go around the outer part of the eye. Color that in black. Okay, now while you're coloring that in black, I'm going to very quickly color this in. Just so you have a color guide for later, not right now, but later. Going so fast I accidentally went in his beak. I'll fix that in just a second. Notice when I color, I'm not doing little short strokes. I'm trying to do long. The longer you can do them, the less overlap that you have and the more even your coloring will be. And also, I am not trying to have a lot of space between my lines. I'm going kind of fast. It's just so you have a color reference for here in a little bit. When you do use the colored pencils, there's more than one color red. As long as it's one of the reds, it really doesn't matter, okay? And then if I want to fold a little Kleenex up and get a little corner so I can smooth it out in the little small areas like between the eyes and between the eye and the edge of the head, you will be able to do that if you want to when you get an opportunity to color it, which is not just yet, but it'll be in a little bit. Let's try and get this done up real fast. Like record fast here. Again, super, super, super long strokes if you can with your pencil, so you're not overlapping a lot. Then we have a beak right here. We got to do this real fast too. So I'm going to come through with yellow, but I'm not going to press super hard with this yellow. I don't want it to be a really bright yellow. I just want it a yellow, but not super bright yellow. If I press harder, it will be more intense and brighter. That's why I'm not pressing very hard right at the moment. So I come in and do that, and then I'm going to come in here, not with that, but with my orange. Okay, shh. Come in with the orange. I'm going to start on one side, and I'm going to color very carefully right towards the middle. I'm going to stop at the middle, so it's like a highlight there. Come along the bottom part of this beak. Let it fade out as it moves up. Bottom part of this beak, fade out as it moves up. And then I'm going to come along the bottom here, do the same thing. But I am going to put a little shadow right there. And then around where the neck comes to the head, I'm going to go a little darker here because it's going to make a shadow from the head to the neck. And I'm going to go a little bit darker right in here because we have a cheekbone right there. All right, and then for his eyebrows, I'm just going to go a light gray up here, or medium gray, and then he's going to be done, and we're going to go to our next one. And I will take this and smooth it out real quick. All right, so now we got that one turkey head done. Like I said, you can come in later, not right now, later after you start coloring. If you want to smooth that out with a Kleenex, just be really careful that when you get near the edges of where you have your pencil drying, that you don't press too hard, because what's going to happen is you'll smear a bunch of pencil into your drawing and it'll kind of dirty it up, and you don't really want to do that too much. Okay, let's smooth him out a little bit and he's done for now. All right, next bird. This is the one I've been looking forward to doing all day long. Okay, we're going to start this one off the very same way we did the other one. So we're going to keep our lines very, very light. And in this case, when we do this first U shape, keep it really light, but we're going to come a little further down on the page because we're going to put a hat on this one. So I'm going to start a little bit lower. I'm just going to go light to start with, just like that. Come over here, try to even it out. Okay, I've got my upside down U on there now. Don't go very dark with that because, like I say, we are going to erase most of this upper part. It's just kind of giving us the side of our heads, what we're trying to get now. And we're going to do that same kind of heart shape that we did before, leaving a little space, coming right in the middle. That should be about where the middle is, about right there. Bring it around. Do the same thing on this side, bring it around. All right, so when it's done, that's what we got. Looks a little like a monkey right at the moment, but it won't in a minute. Put the neck on it. We're going to come down here towards the bottom. Long, skinny neck. And then down here at the bottom of this one, we're going to come back out just a little bit and curve it around. Move this so you can see it. Curve it around like that, and then bring just a little curve right in the middle. Almost looks like a little nose down at the bottom. This one's drawn a little bit different style than the first one. So we don't want to do the same thing over and over again. Similar is good, same, not so much. When you do things similar, it shows you, oh, so I can do this and this and this and change it and make it my own. But if we draw everything the same, we become like a robot. We don't really want to do that. Does anybody need more time to get that far? Okay, I see several hands. I'll wait. That tells me I'm going a little too quick. I'm going to bring this side in just a little bit so it's more like the other side. Erase off that extra. What I did is I noticed how far from the edge of the head this was, and I went, oh, the one side's a little off from the other side. Just like before, let's connect this to this by coming up the side and just bringing that up and connecting it up there and bringing it right up there and connecting it right there. And then I'll just erase the old line out of there so it's gone. Just wanted to connect it up, that's all. So I'll raise that up so you can see we're just connecting the top of the head to the bottom of the head. I think you guys will really like this one when we get it done. This one on the left's just kind of goofy looking like, yeah, I don't even know what Thanksgiving's all about. But he'll find out. This one here, he's going to think he's too cool for Thanksgiving, this one over here. Probably go and hide somewhere. Yep. You really struggle with the neck, don't you? So, perfect, perfect. Perfect right here. I'm just following your lines. Make that a little smaller. And then this is just barely up, not very much. Okay? Yep. All right, let's do the beak. I'm going to come right here again in the middle, bring that shape that comes up like a U, and then it comes back down. And they get further apart as it comes down. So it's a U that's getting stretched out at the bottom. And then I'll erase that little part right there in the middle so it's not in my way. Bring this right down there so you can see it. It's like a big frowny face almost. Now I'm going to come along on this side. We got this line here and this line here. I'm going to do a parallel line just underneath it. Curve it around. Okay, two little curved lines, basically following the curve that's above it. And it kind of comes down the side a little bit. And I'm going to come right up here, and I'm going to make a V shape. I'm going to go from right here, bring this down here, right here, and bring this down here. Try to bring it right down to the middle if I can. Okay, so So you see what I've done there? I've made just a big stretched out V. Took it and pulled it apart at the ends. Stretches way out. Then on either end of that, I'm going to put that little parenthesis for expression right there and right there, just like we did on the other one. Although this one's going to have quite a bit of a different expression from the other one. In fact, the bottom bill is going to be you're not going to see much of it. It's going to be covered by the upper bill. So while I'm sitting here pausing for a minute, how many need a second to get that done? Just raise, okay. Just making sure. And those of you that already got it done, if you think you're a little bit off, now would be the time to try to make the corrections while we're waiting. All right, and we're just going to come around here and blend it into this beak. So I'm coming around just like this on this outer part. I want to go around my little parenthesis, and then work my way back over to the beak and blend it right in. Not clear down here, but up here a little ways. Come out the same side over here. Come around my little parenthesis. Blend that side in. That's a pretty good beak, actually. It's fairly complex, but I think most of you probably drew it pretty well. I'm going to guess. Now, instead of a tongue hanging out on this one, we're going to put that little wattle-looking thing they have. And this is just a teardrop shape. We're going to come off this side, bring it down, curve it around, and bring it right back up to where we started. Okay, it's a big old long teardrop. And of course, everything inside of it, just like when we did the tongue, we're going to erase that out. And yes, I could have put one on this turkey, but I forgot to, so that's why it doesn't have one. And it's too late now, because we're committed. And in a second here, I'm going to do something that's going to seem very strange to you, but will make sense in the end. All right, I'm going to turn my turkey sideways. I'm going to lift this up a little bit so you can see completely what I do here. So he's sideways, and I'm going to put a big curve right here, big curve line. I'm going to start right here, let it go behind the bill, pretend I went behind it, and then come around the other side. Bring it up the same distance on either side. Just a nice big smiley-like curved line. It's like that's just plain weird. And I'm going to come down about halfway on the cheek and put one that parallels it, just like that. It's a little shorter though. What I do on one side, I'm going to do on the other side. Then to connect these two lines, I'm just going to bring a curved line around, curve one off the top, bring it down to the bottom, curve one off the top over here, bring it around to the bottom line. That's all I'm doing is just curving one side down to the other side. Move this down here. Looks a little bit like a cowboy hat right now, but we're going to change some things. Okay, we're going to come from this side right here down a little bit on the edge. I'm going to start close to it. Then I'm going to bring it around here. Follow, follow, follow until I get to the edge right there. And then I'm going to bring this more or less straight across right here. Like this. So I'm going more or less straight across, down, straight across. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I've got some goofy lines here. I'm just going to clean that up a little bit. I'm going to bring this up this side and just bring it around the top and bring it right back in to the brim, just like that. So around, straight across, and then around. Now this is where it's going to get a little strange, because I'm going to come in here and I'm going to erase out right here. I'm going to erase this right here. And the whole top of his noggin is going away. I don't want it. We just cut off the top of his head. He's like, man, I had a headache, but now I don't even have a head. Like, my brain is gone. You might know some people like that. Top of his head's all gone. Now the fun part, and then we're going to make this the last thing we're going to do. I'm going to come right here from where the edge of the head is. I'm going to bring a long line that comes up on this side. And I'm going to bring a long line that comes up on this side, just as long. And then on the top, I'm going to bring a curved line and bring it together, just like that. Boop. Now remember, this is a turkey with some attitude. So you know those old Quaker hat kind of thing, pilgrim hats that the pilgrims used to wear? He goes with one with a little bit more attitude. So I'm going to put a square right here in the middle. And it can be a little rectangle-y too, that's okay. But it's large. And then I'm going to do parallel lines inside of it. Try to make them the same distance from the edge. That's that buckle that you always see in the center of those pilgrim hats. And then from the top of this, I'm going to curve a line right here and curve a line right there. And that's the belt that holds it on, okay? Or the hat band. Now I'll give you a little hint what this turkey's going to look like tomorrow when we finish it up. Because this is kind of a fun turkey. He has attitude, and he looks just like this guy right here. Okay? He's going to have a pair of dark glasses. We're going to shade in the hat and the face. We're going to add color to it, and he's going to be one cool looking turkey. With that said, let's wrap it up for the day, and we'll finish him up tomorrow. Put chairs up. Let's get ready to go.